We have the PWHL. So that will kick off in the new year, 1st of January. It will be New York v Toronto. January 2nd, Montreal v Ottawa. January 3rd, Minnesota v Boston. Are you guys excited for the PWHL? I think it'll grow traction pretty quickly, and I think we'll see more teams and things like that. I actually don't mind the way that they've sort of branded it as well. From what I've been listening to, they didn't want to brand teams and get it wrong. They wanted to make sure they got everything correct, so that the sweaters and stuff that they're all wearing, I actually don't mind it, to be honest. I think it's probably a good move. Make sure you get it right, and I think the rinks that they're playing at as well will eventually change over time, once they find their feet as well.
Yeah, and keeping it in the one kind of geographic, like East Coast, saves costs, and we know how costly it is for the AWHL and AIHL, like to travel across the country. So I think that helps. You can catch a train or a bus or cheap flight. 72 regular season games. I counted them up on the actual schedule individually before I saw an article that specified 72 games. So, but yeah, I think that's great. And playing midweek. So I think previously they used to play just on the weekends because players had second jobs. So now they're playing kind of similar to the professional like a professional hockey league. So it's brilliant. I'm just disappointed Saroya Tinker has retired. I was a big Saroya Tinker fan. I interviewed her a few years ago after she got drafted 4th overall into the Riveters, and Nadine Edney, who played for the Toronto Six last season. She's not currently on a PWHL roster. Nora McLean was on the Riveters after she left, but now she's coaching, I think, college hockey, so not likely to be in the PWHL. She was, of course, played for the Perth Inferno in 2019-20. I'd love to see some players with an Australian connection playing in the PWHL.
It'd be awesome. Yeah.
One of the things I actually did like was that Toronto's playing out of the old Maple Leaf Gardens, which is really cool.
I think that's a shopping center, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it's set up these days, GG.
Do you know what? What's the capacity?
It's Mattamy Athletics Center, right? Mattamy Athletics Center. Let me have a look, because I know that when they closed down Maple Leaf Gardens, they left the red line in the shopping center, so you could walk over the painted red line, which I thought was kind of neat.
That's cool.
Let's have a look. It is 3,850 is the capacity, so that's probably a good venue. Approximately 2,600 for hockey and 3,000 for basketball, actually, as an update. So that's a decent venue, particularly if you're playing a Wednesday, midweek games. But yeah.
And you look at some of the similar size like college hockey arenas when they're packed out. What an environment to play in front of, So hopefully these the franchises get well supported and really set a nice solid base. I love big advocate for women's sport and really supporting like the Bulldogs in the AFL, their AFLW team, Melbourne Ice Women. My little girl absolutely loves her sport, and it's great for her to be able to chuck on the tally or sit down on the couch and see, hey, if I decide to go and play hockey like Dad, there's a really high ceiling there for any young women, young girls in Australia. To see the game growing and the support and the narrative really getting around and supporting that, and giving it the respect it deserves as well. It's a good thing, and we need to keep really keep supporting that and letting those competitions grow.